distinguished guests
distinguished guests,
from India and abroad, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. अभी प्रवीण जी को मैं सुन रहा था, छोटी 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 गुजारिश थी उनकी, लेकिन लग रहा है छोटी छोटी डायमंड जितनी ताकत वाली थी। और आपने गंगा के लिए दान देने की योजना बनाई, इसके लिए मैं आप सबको बधाई देता हूं, धन्यवाद करता हूं। Friends, I am very happy to address you at this charity dinner at the International Diamond Conference. This conference is part of the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Gems and Jewellery Export Promotion Council of India. The conference on the theme of Mines to Market 2017 brings together miners, diamond companies, experts, retailers, bankers, and analysts from across the globe. Since the council was created 50 years ago, India has made rapid strides in this industry. As you all know, India is now the world's largest manufacturer of cut and polished diamonds. The gems and jewelry sector is one of the leading sectors in India in terms of value of exports as well as employment generation. In the last 4 decades, India has emerged as the leader in diamond manufacturing and export. Exports of gems and jewelry from India account for 15% of India's total merchandise exports. This is one of India's success stories. From just $28 million in 1966-67, exports reached $1 billion in 1982-83 and $2 billion in 87-88. It crossed $10 billion in 2003 and 4. $20 billion in 2007 and 8, and is now nearly $40 billion. Friends, till recently, Indian importers had to go abroad to view and purchase rough diamonds. This reduced the efficiency of the supply chain. Many of you wanted us to enable viewing and trading to happen in India. In December 2014, at the World Diamond Conference held in Delhi, I had announced in the presence of the Russian president that we would set up a special notified zone to achieve this. This promise has been kept. Amendments had been made to our laws to enable rough diamonds to enter and exit duty-free for the purpose of viewing. The special notified zone at the Bharat Diamond Bourse became operational in November 2015. This has already shown good results. Earlier, only 80 to 90 big merchants used to get access to global rough diamonds by traveling to Belgium, Africa, and Israel. Now, about 3,000, and this is not a small number, about 3,000 small and medium merchants have this privilege through the new special notified zone. Many of the most reputed international names in the diamond industry have conducted over 244 days of viewings. My intention is to make India, which is already the cutting and polishing hub, into an international diamond trading hub. Ladies and gentlemen, our goal is to transform India in one generation. Since taking office, this government has placed emphasis on many transformative initiatives. Make in India is one of them. Our aim is to make India a preferred destination for manufacturing. In the last 50 years, the gems and jewelry sector has accounted for $475 billion of exports. This is despite the fact that India has little diamond or gold production. Another important initiative is Skill India. Skill India aims to ensure that new attendants to the workforce have the necessary skill to contribute to the economy of the 21st century. The gems and jewelry sector employs 4.6 million people. Out of this, 1 million people are in the diamond industry alone. Thus, the gems and jewelry sector is a prime example of the potential of Make in India and Skill India. Today, we have with us ministers from several African countries. India cherishes its excellent relations with Africa. Our shared post-colonial heritage and the similarity of the challenges we face make us natural partners. I take this opportunity to assure my friends from Africa that India will be happy to support them in developing their gems and jewelry sector and in training their technicians. I began by saying that this sector has come a long way from where it was. However, it is still far, far behind where it should be. Our strongest area is diamond cutting and polishing. In terms of the global value, in the gems and jewelry market, our share is lower than it should be. Our future is much bigger than cutting and polishing alone. We have a lot of unexplored potential. Let me ask you a question. What is your strategy for increasing India's share of the handmade jewelry market. I'm told that to a significant extent, Indian exports are importer-led. The specifications and designs are based on preferences given by importers. This means that India is a follower of global fashion rather than a leader of global taste. This does not do justice to our rich experience and abundant design talent. Let me give an example. India has many famous icons, sculptures, and statues dating back over 2,000 years. Many of them are shown wearing jewelry. These works of art have captivated people from around the world. Have we documented this? Have we thought of promoting jewelry based on these works of art? Friends, we live in an era where cloth retailers change people's preferences. Even hairdressers change hairstyle fashions of their clients. We live in an era where diamonds are used in spectacles, watches, and pants. Can't our jewelers, with their skills, strengths, and heritage, create and change global tastes and fashions? In order to be able to influence and change global fashion, our industry first need to have a thorough knowledge of its market. The industry collectively needs to study and understand the end user and what they want. For example, some areas and some groups may prefer gold, others silver, and yet others platinum. The basic point is that we cannot be world leaders without first connecting strongly with the client. E-commerce makes it much easier to establish direct contact with the end user. This is a golden opportunity for the Indian industry. The industry could think of encouraging startups by young entrepreneurs who can create a growing market for made-to-order Indian jewelry. There was a time in the past where some products from India had achieved a global reputation. Today, India has acquired a global brand for high skills and excellence in software. We are yet to do that in jewelry. If we do that, the potential is huge. This is a task which the Council should take up in right earnest. But the states also have a role to play. Since taking office, we have encouraged state governments to take an active role in export promotion. I hope the industry is in constant touch with all the states. Apart from exports, India, as the fastest growing economy in the world, We also increase domestic demand. It is important for the industry to plan its growth, but that is not enough. It is also necessary for you to think of the weakest among you. The council should consider taking a census of the lowest paid and least prosperous persons in your industry. For example, the workers living in a place like Jaipur, Thrissur, Varanasi, Rajkot, Jaipur, Coimbatore. Can the industry ensure that every one of them is enrolled in the government's low-cost social security schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana for accident insurance, the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana for life insurance, and the Atal Pension Yojana for an assured minimum pension. The accident insurance cost is about ₹1 a month. ₹1 a month. And the life insurance costs about ₹1 a day. A bank deposits of approximately 5,000 rupees would earn enough interest to pay this premium permanently. Friends, India will celebrate the 75th anniversary of its independence in 2022. What goals is the gems and jewelry industry setting for itself by that date? What can you do for the country by then? Where do you think the industry should be by then? How will you get there? How many new jobs can you create? I call upon you to give this a serious thought and come up with a plan. If changes are needed in regulations, I ask you to come up with specific and practical suggestions. We can certainly consider them if they are in the interest of our country. I conclude by thanking you for this opportunity to share my thoughts. I wish the conference all success. Thank you. Thank you very much.